Alright, but before I start the video, I just want to point out the fact that Pokemon Legends EA now has a release date, October 16th. Let's go! We all love Ash Ketchum. He's the face of the Pokemon anime and the most recognizable trainer there is. However, if there's one thing that he loves to do, it's not evolve his Pokemon. But that's not a problem, because these little guys, for some reason, can pack a punch even to their own evolved forms. So today, I'll set aside Ash's aces and tell you which 6 of his unevolved Pokemon would make for the best team. Let's start with the obvious pick, Pikachu. If I'm gonna make Ash's unevolved dream team, then I have to include his partner and best friend. Pikachu is a powerhouse that has proven to us countless times that he can most certainly defeat Raichus, Metagross, legendaries, and any sort of foe that comes his way. Besides that, Ash's Pikachu is a symbol for unevolved Pokemon, as it refuses to evolve and puts its evolutions to shame every time. Before moving on, let me just mention some of Pikachu's best battles. Pikachu vs Brandon's Regice, which was an epic battle and showed Pikachu's strength with that Volt Tackle in the end. Pikachu vs Tapu Koko, which solidified Ash's victory in his first ever league win. And of course, Pikachu vs Leon's Charizard, the battle to end all epic battles of the Pokemon anime. The next Pokemon I picked is one of Ash's unevolved Kanto starters. But who could it be? Bulbasaur or Squirtle? Well, I'm sorry to Squirtle fans, because Bulbasaur is the one taking this spot. Bulbasaur has one of the highest win rates out of any of Ash's Pokemon, and even though this isn't my criteria for this video, it is most certainly impressive. Bulbasaur has impressive feats under its name, like resisting evolution after being forced to evolve by other Bulbasaur and a Venusaur, tying with Jackson's Meganium in the Johto League, which is a fully evolved grass starter, and helping Ash against Brandon in the Battle Pyramid. I think Bulbasaur absolutely deserves this spot over Squirtle because it was, in my opinion, the MVP of Ash's team in both Kanto and Johto. It was by far the most reliable Pokemon Ash had after Pikachu, since Charizard didn't listen to him and Squirtle lacked feats. One last thing, Bulbasaur is pretty much the boss of Oak's Lab, keeping everyone there in check, so it's gotta have a pretty absurd strength. This next Pokemon is one of my personal favorites, Corphish. I'm actually kinda glad that he never evolved, since I'm not a big fan of Crawdaunt. I'm really glad that the anime writers didn't make Corphish another unevolved comic relief water Pokemon for Ash, because he was awesome in the anime. Corphish was quite literally a battle beast. When he hit the field, you knew things were going to be epic. Some of Corphish's highlights were helping Pikachu defeat Juan Celio and defeating Juan's Love Disc by itself, defeating Swalot and a Golduck in the Hoenn League in the funniest way possible by using Bubble Beam on Swalot's mouth and resisting confusion to defeat Golduck, teaming up with Swellow to somehow, seriously, this battle seemed absolutely impossible, beat Tucker's Arcanine and Swampert. Corphish is just better than Ash's other non-evolved water Pokemon because he manages to be hilariously funny and still crush his opponents. Sometimes when Ash doesn't evolve a Pokemon, we forgive him, but that is most certainly not the case with Gible. When Ash caught him, I'm pretty sure everyone wanted it to evolve into a Garchomp and sweep through its battles. But Gible still managed to surprise everyone by battling very well. Its highlight though was absolutely the move Draco Meteor, which made him the MVP of Ash's battle against Conway in the Sinnoh League. Gible managed to beat Conway, Shuckle, and Dusknoir by biting and launching them to the sky with Draco Meteor, and that was after he took a multitude of hits. Gible might not have evolved, but he most certainly fought like a champion. Remember when Ash went to Unova and decided not to fully evolve any of his starter Pokemon? Yeah, that was definitely a dumb move, because if Pignite was fighting that well as a Pignite, then it most certainly would have been an even better Pokemon as an Emboar. First of all, as a Tepig, he spent quite some time malnourished due to not being able to eat properly after being abandoned, so we know he is resilient, which can come in handy in battles. Not only that, but Tepig defeated its former trainer in a double battle, defeating both a Heatmor and an Emboar after evolving into Pignite, showing its superior power over its own evolution plus another Pokemon. Pignite was also the one who defeated Cameron's secret weapon Hydreigon in the Unova League, because let's be honest, Boldor and Oshawott did not contribute much to defeating Hydreigon, and even after fighting Hydreigon, Pignite had the energy to fight Cameron's Ferrothorn and win. Lastly, Pignite is probably one of the physically strongest Pokemon Ash has ever owned, because what I'm about to tell you is crazy. Pignite participated in the Pokemon Sumo tournaments of Harvest Island's Grand Harvest Festival. The first match was pretty easy against a Watchog, no problem. Then the second one, he won due to his opponent slacking, falling asleep. The third match was against Rhyperior, a Pokemon way larger than Pignite and with a type advantage, but Pignite still managed to beat it. But the finals of the Sumo tournament put Pignite against the Golurk, a gigantic behemoth of a Pokemon. Somehow, Pignite won by throwing that Golurk over its head. How did he do this? I have no idea, but that goes to show how Pignite is worthy of being in this dream team. The last Pokemon I picked is also from the Unova region, and I already know most people will not like it, but here it goes. The final Pokemon of Ash's Unevolved Dream Team is Palpitoad. Palpitoad's inclusion here might feel weird since he hasn't battled that much, having only appeared in 15 episodes, the lowest for any of Ash's Pokemon. However, what people forget is that before it was caught, Palpitoad was essentially a mafia boss. It ruled over a lake, having full control over the many temple that lived there and his friend Stunfisk. Besides that, Palpitoad never did badly in any of its battles. It either won or lost after contributing in some way. Its best battles are against Burgundy's Stoutland and Elise's and Stefan's respective Zebstrikers. These are not necessarily amazing battles by any reason, but they show how Palpitoad can battle well. But one thing you might be asking yourself is why choose a Pokemon that has its two typings overlapping with previous Pokemon of this team? Well, Palpitoad has a poison type move, that being Sludge Wave, which Ash would need to fight off against fairy types. Besides that, it has Supersonic to confuse opponents or forcing a switch. This is what I believe to be Ash's best and most diverse Unevolved Dream Team. Please let me know if you agree with my picks or would make any changes. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you all next time.